Hi everyone, and welcome to my most frequently asked questions video. Now, I do try and do kind of ask me things where I answer your questions, but there are questions that on every video type just get repeated, and I try and answer as many of them as I can, but I can't answer every single question that I get, especially when it's questions that get asked multiple times. It gets very, very difficult for me to stay on track of everything. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to answer the most frequently asked questions, and then I'm going to just put this video in the down bar of every video, and then if you want to know something in particular, you can revert back to this video and come and watch it, because it'll just make it easier for all of us. So I've got the questions written down in front of me, and I'm going to get started. The first question is, why do you never put makeup on your forehead? So this is a question that I get asked every time I do a tutorial or anything of that manner. I always get asked why I don't put makeup on my forehead. There are a couple of reasons. The first one is I believe in putting foundation on only where you need it. I don't think you need to put foundation on all of your face. I don't have anything that I really need to cover on my forehead, so I don't see the need in putting foundation there. The second thing is, if I do put foundation on my forehead, it just breaks me out and it makes me super, super oily. No matter what product, I just get very, very oily. So the only thing I ever put on my forehead is my sunscreen and my toner and my powder. I don't put any kind of moisturisers or anything on my forehead. I don't put primer on there. I just kind of keep it to this part of my face because my forehead just doesn't need it. And I do think you can kind of treat your skin differently in different areas of the face just to make it a little bit nicer. The second question is, what's your ethnicity? This is a very, very, very common question. I get asked this a lot. I have kind of addressed it before, but then a lot of speculation goes on with it, and people will kind of argue in the comments, and to be honest, I'm not sure why people find it so fascinating. It's not something I'd ever really kind of wonder about somebody, and it's not something that I would really ask somebody or want to know, but I understand the curiosity. And so yeah, my ethnicity. I have got one parent that is English, so from the UK, totally English, and then I have got one parent who is Israeli, originally from Morocco. I'm not getting into religion and that kind of thing. I'm sure it's very interesting, but it's a slippery slope, and I'm not going to address religion on here because I just can see it leading ways it doesn't need to go. But yeah, that's my ethnicity, so I hope that's kind of cleared up any speculation there was there. I'm not American, I'm not Iranian, I'm not Italian, which were all the kind of different things that were going round in comments. The third question is, why won't you ever do a boyfriend tag? So what happened was, again, I've addressed this before, but when I started making videos, I did do a boyfriend tag, and then after I was on here for a while, I decided to take it down because I watched other people's videos and I realised the lack of privacy on YouTube is a little bit crazy, and I just didn't want to kind of promote that with my personal life. I totally understand that there are people that make a living from it and that everybody wants to know and that everyone's curious. I totally get that, but it's not something that I want to have on my channel, and I want my private life to remain my private life. I don't mind, you know, if people think that my videos are boring and or that I'm ugly or that I can't, you know, explain things properly. I don't mind that, but I would absolutely hate for people to be talking about my personal life or my personal relationship. That would really upset me and offend me, so I'm just not going to do it. Especially when you see things like happen to other YouTubers at the moment, like Beauty Crush, who split up with her boyfriend, and the drama and speculation that was surrounding that from other people was just ridiculous, and I just wouldn't ever put myself in that situation because I want my privacy. I want my normal life to remain my normal life. You know, it's not like I'm some sort of celebrity or that kind of thing. I just don't feel like it's a very wise choice for me personally, not judging anyone who does make that choice. Number 4, what colour is your hair? So I get loads of questions of this, and this is my natural hair colour. My natural hair colour is dark brown. I have got bits in it that are a lighter blonde, like this bit here, which is just natural. I've had it as a child. It's kind of like a birthmark, I think. It's got a name, but I can't remember what it's called. And yeah, this is my natural colour. I have had my hair blonde. I have had my hair black. And yeah, this is my natural colour, so I can't sort of say what hair dye to use because, as I said, this is my natural colour, and it's not kind of a flat colour because of the reasons that I just gave, and I've kind of moved it and disclosed it now. It's not just a flat colour that you can kind of achieve with a box dye, so it's kind of difficult to tell. Number 5, will you ever cut your hair again like in your first hair care videos? If you haven't ever seen those, they're kind of my most watched videos, and people always ask me this, and I don't know if I ever will, to be honest. I know it's kind of a bit of a shocker, but I like having long hair, especially living here. I feel like not that many girls in the UK have really, really long hair. I feel like it kind of tends to be shoulder length, and I just like having long hair. It's a huge part of me, and I always wanted it to be longer than it was. So I know that my curls were in much better shape then because it was shorter and it was very layered and it was kind of till here, but I prefer having it long. So maybe I will, maybe I won't. It's a difficult question to answer, and I haven't got like a fear of hairdressing at all. I just like having it long. It's not that I'm scared that something's going to happen or I'll get a bad cut. I just like having it long. I just feel like it kind of suits my personality more. Then we have number 6, which is a very, very good question. Tips for starting YouTube. So I have done a couple of videos on the topic, but I might kind of do a more in-depth video about it. Let me know if you want to see one. But my number 1 tip is to just get as much as you can out there. So make as many videos, as many posts, as much content on as many very different topics as you can, and just keep doing it. I know it's very frustrating, and I feel like kind of because there's quite a lot of YouTube stars nowadays, that girls will kind of think that, oh, I'll do it and then I'll just become a mega, international superstar, and it doesn't work like that. The girls who have done that have been incredibly lucky and have put a lot of hard work into it. You can't just, make 2 videos and expect to have 1 million subscribers. You have to work at it, you have to push yourself. There are so many fantastic YouTubers out there that don't get enough recognition, and it's very much a game of luck. I think a lot of it's a game of who you know as well, but that's a different matter. And just keep making as much content as you can, keep being as active as you can. So have Facebook, Twitter, social media, reach out to people, try and make sure you are very nice and interact with as many people as you can. Sorry about that, guys, my camera cut out because I had a full memory card. But yeah, I was talking about kind of YouTubing tips and that kind of thing, and just putting yourself out there as much as possible basically is my number 1 tip. Then number 7 is, could you do a house tour? I've kind of toyed with the idea of a house tour, but I've decided that I'm not going to, because I don't live alone. I live with my boyfriend and it's his house as well, and I feel like it's just not the wisest idea to go and put it on the internet. Again, it's a little bit of invasion of privacy, and I understand that like people sort of want to see how you've decorated and that kind of thing, totally, but I just think that it's just something that maybe should be private, and that I'm not sure if is going to work out that fantastically, and I don't know, I kind of feel like it's a little bit too close to home, if that makes sense. I'm just not sure it's something that I want to do. Then number 8 is, how do you whiten your teeth? I don't whiten my teeth. I, touch wood, I'm extremely lucky that my teeth are very, very strong. I've never even had a single filling, and my younger sisters are 12 and have had 6. So I haven't ever had a filling. I'm very good with my teeth. I brush them 3 times a day, and I try and make sure to kind of take care of them properly. They aren't particularly straight. They're not particularly amazing teeth. They're just quite white, and I don't ever use any kind of whitening products. I am kind of testing one at the moment just to kind of review and talk to you about it and do a kind of more in-depth video. But I'll show you kind of thing. My teeth aren't particularly perfect. I think they just kind of look like they're in better condition than they are because they're quite white, but they're not super straight. I've never really had any problems with it though. Then the other questions I have actually got on my phone. Let me just go into where they were. So someone asked, what was your childhood like? And somebody else asked if I could kind of elaborate on more personal stuff. So obviously I'm not going to get too personal because we've established that I don't feel too comfortable with that. But what was my childhood like? I grew up in Israel. I'm not going to say where I grew up because I just think, again, privacy. But I had a really, really fantastic childhood. I went to stay with a friend who lives here as well, and had moved from Israel. I went to stay with a friend a couple of days ago, and we were talking about our childhood. We've kind of been friends since we were kids, and we were talking about what fantastic free childhood we had. We sort of spent days and days on the beach and with kind of slightly hippie mums, and it was just really fantastic and great. You don't appreciate it at the time, you do appreciate it now. It was just a very safe, calm childhood. I can't sort of imagine like having a childhood in a big city kind of thing, because mine wasn't at all like that. It was very calm and relaxing. There were always a lot of children around because I'm the oldest of 5, so I'm, you know, like the biggest sister, and I've got a brother and 3 younger sisters who you might have seen in some videos a while back. And yeah, I had a totally fantastic childhood. Like, when I have children, I hope that they could have a childhood like I did, and have as a fantastic family like I have. What else? We always had loads of animals, we always had loads of pets. We kind of had a bit of a crazy house. Everybody that knows us now always just calls us the Kardashians, because they always sort of say, oh, you've all got long hair and there's so many of you and you shout a lot. It was very much a kind of shouty family, that we weren't like seriously shouting, just very loud because there were so many of us. School wise, I had a kind of normal school time, you know, like I didn't hate it, I didn't love it, but it was okay. I was an average student. I had sort of some good friends. Boys was just kind of some silly relationships along the way, leading up to the kind of almost 5-year relationship that I'm in now. 5 years, so long. Marriage, will I be getting married, that kind of thing. I'd like to have children as well. That's kind of all the personal stuff I can think of, really. I'm just not a very interesting person. Oh, I went to 2 questions and I've actually sent myself an email. Okay. Then what else do we have? Any advice for YouTubers? I've already covered that one. The childhood I've already covered. Height and weight. I will answer that question, even though I kind of think it's a bit strange to kind of ask what someone's weight is. Height, I'm a teeny tiny 5'1.5". We were speaking the other day about Disney films. That's another childhood related thing. I'm a Disney film obsessive because we grew up watching all of them and I absolutely adore them. So we were talking about which Disney characters would be, and we had established that I was going to be Tinkerbell, because I'm very short and I'm a little bit moody and I'm always trying to see if my bum looks too big in the mirror. So we'd established that I was Tinkerbell. But yeah, 5'1.5". Does it bother me? Would I like to be a little bit taller? Maybe a little, but to be fair, it's not something that kind of really bugs me. I've got so many other things about physically that bother me. Height's not really one of them. And weight is, I'm around 57 kilos, which is around 5 stone. I can fluctuate kind of to 55, which is around 8.5, and I can fluctuate up to kind of 60. That's my kind of average normal weight, which I fluctuate in. And then obviously if I'm heavier, that's another matter, but that's kind of my average weight. Even though I'm kind of not a massive fan of how much people weigh, I think it's kind of not the best indication of your kind of overall shape and body, but that's it. So yeah, those are my most frequently asked questions. I try to keep them to a minimum, but those are the things that I get asked the most often, and I feel like you want to know more than any other questions. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any other questions for a future video that you'd like me to do, let me know, and let me know if you want me to do a kind of YouTuber info video kind of thing as well, even though I'm probably not the expert on it. But yeah, don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.